Welcome to yet another Kiive audio video. I'm Luke, and today we're going to be going over the Golden58 from AudioScape Engineering and Kiive Audio. AudioScape teamed up with Kiive Audio to bring this absolute tone monster to the digital space, and I'm super excited to use it in real time in this video and also just talk about it. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just dive in. All right, so here's the plugin. Let's talk about what the Golden58 is, and then we'll dive into the controls that we're actually looking at now. The Golden58 is a stereo tube preamp from AudioScape that is very, very popular. It's a very boutique piece of gear. This pre is known for its driving tube transformer sound, and I'm super stoked to show it on this song because this song really calls for it. It's a really simple plugin, but let's go over the controls really quick. So firstly, you have your Kiive audio section at the top. You can check your version here. You have your presets section. You can save your own or use the ones that are built in. You have in and out compensation. This is really good because you can level match. Then you have a stereo width knob, super helpful. And then you have oversampling, anywhere from off to 2x to 16x. And then you have a left and right or a mid-side mode selector. And now on to the actual unit, you have a line and mic selector. Line is going to be more of a transparent type of processing, whereas mic is going to be a little bit dirtier and grittier. So if you want to be able to push the transformers a little bit harder and have it not be as affected, you probably want to go with line. And then you obviously have mic where you can just absolutely crank it. Now, I don't think that these are exclusive to line and mic sources. I encourage you to kind of just treat it as two different flavors for really any source you run through the pre. You also have a polarity switch, and then you have this full or voice selector. Full can be used on anything, but the voice setting was designed for vocals, and to be honest, both of these sound great on basically anything. So just like I said with the line and mic signal, make sure you just try it out. Use it as a two different flavor type of switch, you know? Then you have your big gain knob here, which controls the drive of the actual plugin. And then you have an output trim. So say you crank this and you really like tonal effect, but it made the volume jump, you can then compensate that with the out. It's also good to mention that you can do that in the top too with your input and output compensation, but just remember the input is before the plugin, the output is after the plugin. Keep that in mind. You have this bias adjustment you can play around with, and then above it you have an auto gain or normal switch selector. Mine is in the default position, which is auto gain. This is going to help you compensate for gain changes while the plugin actually does processing. And because I'm not looking for strictly a volume boost here, and I'm looking for really just tonality, I'm going to keep this on. And then you can see that it's mirrored. This is a stereo pre, so you can either link or unlink these. Then you have this fancy on and off power switch to easily bypass the plugin for comparing or whatever. So I'm going to use the Golden58 on vocals, drums, and on bass guitar in this song. So let's quickly just kind of listen to what I have now, and then we'll get to work.
Full of guilt and more regret, can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down.
So the first thing I want to do is allow the vocals to overall just be more forward, be more gritty, and I don't want to lose that dark element that they have. Typically, I would record a vocal like this on a preamp that has some grit or aggression to it, but it was a remote collaboration and we recorded it on what we had, which was a very transparent preamp. So I'm actually going to be putting this on the stereo vocal bus, and let's just kind of play around with it and dial in a cool sound.
Full of guilt and more regret, can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you. Full of guilt and more regret, can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead. Just a hint of disrespect.
All right, so I've dialed in some settings that I like. I now want to listen with it on and then off so you can kind of see the difference. In my opinion, it kind of brought some life and some grittiness back into the vocal that, in my opinion, was just a little bit too sterile. So let's listen with it on.
Full of guilt and more regret, can't help but feel a bit obsessed
Off.
by all the thoughts of loneliness.
Back on.
I wanna come down to the depths with you instead.
So on the vocal bus, all I did was switch the line to mic and then the full to voice, and then I just let the drive knob do the rest. Now I want the drums to sound a little bit more aggressive, so we're going to use the Golden58 to do essentially the same thing we did with the vocals.
Full of guilt and more regret, can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down.
So for the drums, I just flipped it from line to mic. I just happened to like how it sounded better. I feel like it was more drivey. I left it on full this time, and I just cranked the gain knob, and I think it sounds really good. Let's listen to a before and after. Before.
Full of guilt and more regret. Can't help but feel a bit
After.
obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead.
I can really hear it in the kick, but it's definitely affecting everything, and it sounds really good. It's grittier, it's crunchier, it just has more aggression to it. And next, I want to just dial in some settings for bass guitar. I want the bass guitar to be drivey, I want it to be aggressive, and I want it to be forward. So let's kind of play around with it.
Full of guilt and more regret. Can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead. Just a hint of disrespect for all the things we could have been. They'll burn us.
All right, I'm really liking how that bass sounds. I left this one in the line position. I think that flavor was a little bit better for this case. Left it on full and absolutely drove the heck out of it. And it sounds really, really good. So let's listen to it before and after. Here we go. Off.
Full of guilt and more regret. Can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead.
I think the best way to describe it is like warm aggression. I don't really know how else to say it, but it sounds great. All right, and now as a final comparison, I want to bypass the Golden 58 on the lead vocals, on the bass guitar and the drums. We'll listen to it, and then we'll listen to it again with them on. All right, so this was before. We'll listen to the whole segment.
Full of guilt and more regret. Can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead. Just a hint of disrespect for all the things we could have been. They'll burn us.
And then we'll turn everything on and listen again.
Full of guilt and more regret. Can't help but feel a bit obsessed by all the thoughts of loneliness. I wanna come down to the depths with you instead. Just a hint of disrespect for all the things we could have been. They'll burn us.
I love how this plugin sounds, and I love how easy it was to dial in these sounds. You can try out the Golden 58 for free, as well as other Kiive audio plugins at kiiveaudio.com. Go get the plugins, check them out for yourself, come to your own conclusions, okay? I love these, but you have to try them. You have to do it. So go do it, like right now. I want to thank you all for joining me on the Kiive Audio channel. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll be seeing you soon.